awakening to my start here at Fright Fest, and it wasn't even many rides that did anything. There are these fire things that sound like cannons when they go off, and they're so loud. You guys may not know this, but I have like really sensitive ears, and so anytime those things go off, which you'll probably hear them at some point in this vlog or others that I shoot during Fright Fest, if you hear some really loud things that sound like a cannon going off in the middle of the video, it would be those things. And so as I'm walking past American Thunder to get towards Justice League, we'll see how we do on this thing. And of course I'll be getting on some of my other favorite rides like Mr. Freeze, which I just rode 30 times last week, which obviously I'm not doing that again today because I rode that thing a bunch last week, so I don't feel I need to get nearly as many rides on it. Also want to get on Boss, yeah, that's running, also Joker as well. So make sure you guys watch the end so you can see all of how it goes. There's anything I learned from my first 2 rides on Justice League for today, it's that any rides that are on pace to be a double max will definitely come down to Screen 4. Screen 4 is way darker than usual today. Like, it's almost impossible to see. So that definitely screwed me up on my second ride. Now, my first ride, I somehow got it, which is crazy, but that's something to keep in mind, especially if I get some more dual-wheeled rides in the marathon later on. But for now, let's ride Mr. Freeze and see how it's running. Rides during the ERT I got on Mr. Freeze last week. A good majority of them were on side A, especially the front row. So naturally, that's where I'm going to make my first ride today, and then I'll go try the back row side A. Rode Mr. Freeze 5 times, 3 in the front, 2 in the back, and I gotta say, compared to my rides last week, especially during ERT, it just doesn't compare. Then again, my rides last week were when the ride was at its peak form, so it's really tough to beat Mr. Freeze when it runs as insane as it did last week, but still, my rides just now were really solid regardless, and I would by no means call it back. Now let's do Justice League once more, then we'll go towards the back of the park and start getting on some of the stuff back there. I get that Thunder River and Log Flume don't open during Fright Fest, but on a day where it's 90 plus degrees out, it wouldn't hurt to have one of these two rides open. That's a bummer they're not using any of Excalibur's plot of land for anything having to do with Fright Fest this year like they did last year. That's totally okay though, because there is a defunct ride in this park that has a lot of its props out for display during Fright Fest each year. It closed 11 years ago today, and I've mentioned this ride a couple times over the years on my channel. If you guys are longtime viewers of the channel or longtime fans of Six Flags St. Louis, then you should know exactly what ride I'm talking about, but we'll get to that after a while here. Craziest ride ever on Joker Carnival of Chaos in terms of the swings. Most of the parts where I had a high swing, I was facing straight down, not including max height even. So that made for one of the craziest rides ever on anything in this park in my honest opinion. Then again, I was one of only 6 people on the entire thing because it had just come up from being shut down for technical issues. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but still, the ride I had was nothing short of incredible. So I'm definitely glad I got to experience that. And now I'm gonna take a ride on Rookie Racer in the back of the train and see how it is. I don't think I've rode the back row on this since June, so let's give it a go and see how it is back there. Rookie Razor for the better sense of speed. I think the back is better from a force perspective. So I think you can't really go wrong with either road. One coaster that is definitely better than front all around though is Boss, which that's what I'm gonna try now. Just rode Boss, and man, that thing is definitely on the rougher side today. The first half especially really needs some help. Like the speed hill after the Titan track needs some help. The climb in the mid-course is also bad. It could be so much better if it was smoother, but it's not in the best shape right now. Like at the beginning of the year, I thought it was reasonable. Now I can't really say that. So that's part of the reason why Boss might be starting to slip in my list, because it's not as re-rideable for me as it once was. But then again, I know it has potential. So I think I might have said this in the past, but the track work Boss got this year is part of a multi-year project, so it should be getting some more next year if that means something. So I look forward to seeing what they do next with this ride, as well as Screaming Eagle. Speaking of Screaming Eagle, it is down for the day, which as close for Daredevil Days last week, and I heard it was down since Labor Day weekend. So I hope they're able to get it up and running soon, so I can get some night rides on it, which that's the best way to experience that coaster is at night. Now let's go over towards River King Mine Train and give that a ride. I haven't done this one all since June, so let's go see how the oldest coaster in the park is running. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that Six Flags St. Louis does have a defunct attraction that has several props from it on display during Fright Fest. Here are some of them right now. Do any of these props look familiar to any of you guys watching this video? Here's a look at some of the props inside of the train station here. After I ride River King Mine Train, I will come back here and tell you guys what ride each of these props are from, and you'll be able to see if you are correct or not.
And now the project will be closing in 5, 4. You went screaming, chopping, now to let you back out into the ride. You're looking at you. Bye. Welcome back, everybody. How's the ride? So it is like I'm so excited to talk about your section next, so me, everyone.
rode River King Mine Train a little bit ago, and it was alright, as per usual. Nothing to really write home about. And now it is time for me to reveal what defunct attraction these props came from. If you guessed these props came from Scooby-Doo Ghost Blasters, The Mystery of the Scary Swamp, you would be correct. This was a shooting dark ride that operated from 2002 to 2014, closed 11 years ago today at 6 o'clock, which is a little under 20 minutes from now. It's very sad that Scooby-Doo closed for me because a lot of you guys watching may not know this. Scooby was the ride for me growing up because I hadn't gotten over my fear of roller coasters yet, which I did that with Screamin' Eagle in November of 2014, and Scooby-Doo closed September 2014. So I went a month and a half without having that ultra favorite ride of mine. Screamin' Eagle took the mantle from Scooby-Doo when I rode that for the first time. The largest coaster I ran in the park at the time Scooby-Doo closed was American Thunder, so I hadn't done Screamin' Eagle or Boss or Batman or Mr. Freeze just yet. Because Justice League replaced Scooby-Doo in 2015, that plays a major role in my massive obsession with Justice League because it replaced a childhood favorite of mine. Heck, if Scooby-Doo was still open today, I would still be riding it obsessively. So if you've been saying I've been obsessed with Justice League for no reason, that's wrong because it replaced a childhood favorite of mine. Now, if I didn't have a huge obsession with Scooby-Doo, Justice League would be kind of whatever for me, but the fact that it was replaced by another shooting dark ride, I naturally got a lot of rides in on its successor, and I will continue to get as many rides on its successor as I possibly can. So, in case you're wondering whether I would rather have Justice League or Scooby-Doo, this may shock you, I would rather have Scooby-Doo still around. Justice League is great and all, but there's just nothing like the old Scooby-Doo ride where every time I was coming, I'd be like, okay, what's gonna be broken or what's gonna be fixed? Because there was always stuff breaking and getting fixed without I was around. Can't really say the same for Justice League, so it's sad that it is no longer with us. Comment below whether you got to ride Scooby-Doo Ghost Blasters, The Mystery of the Scary Swamp, and let me know what your thoughts were on this ride if you got to experience it. Here it comes, the freight train headed towards the bottom of the hill at the front of the park. It's worth mentioning that a year ago from today was Daredevil Day 2024. One of the cool things the attendees of the event got to do was ride on the train with the freaks, so that was a really cool experience. I got to do that, and it was an absolute riot. It is now 6 o'clock, meaning Scooby-Doo Ghost Blasters has officially closed 11 years ago right now. As someone who grew up with that ride, it was one of the saddest days of my life when that thing closed. So I kind of had to pay my respects to it. It is what it is, but nothing lasts forever. Joker, the operations are absolutely unbelievable. Like, they're so slow today. There were 2 cycles where it took at least 15 minutes to send the damn thing, which I've never seen it take that long to send a cycle on that in my life. So I don't know what was going on there, but something was definitely not going as planned. Anyway, since we got, I don't know, 45 minutes left for the park close now, because Joker took way too long, I'm gonna go down to Justice League, and I gotta hold that thing reopened, because that thing is down right now, apparently, according to the Flashman's website. So let's head down there and see if we're able to get on this thing before the park closes. Pretty good marathon on Justice League, despite it not being as long as I would have preferred to it have been, because it broke down right before I got there. But they got it up pretty quick. And my final ride count from today was 11 on Justice League, 5 on Mr. Freeze, 2 on River King Mine Train, Joker Carnival of Chaos, and Rookie Racer, and then 1 on Boss, Ninja, and Pandemonium. In terms of highlights, my first ride on Joker was absolutely incredible, possibly the best ride I've ever gotten on that thing. Mr. Freeze was really good as well. The double max I got on Justice League, there's some pretty good highlights to today. Even though I wasn't able to ride Screaming Eagle, I still had a great time. And before I click off the video, please be sure to leave a like if you haven't done so already. Be sure to come away, enjoy about the video, and be sure to share it with someone else you may know. If you're new to this channel like we saw, please consider subscribing for more content like this. I'd appreciate you subscribing and turn the bell on so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I also have an Instagram account for the pictures I take when I visit parks, so be sure to check me out there as well. There'll be a link in the description. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you later.